So I really don't want to confuse this, but whenever I say boring business idea, I don't mean, for example, like you're just basically hating it all the time, although it makes you money. What I do mean though is like it's low competition, it gives you fair profits, and on top of that, you don't need a PhD to actually get started. Because I know people that they only think that the only way to start a business and actually make money is by overcomplicating everything. And that's not what actually needs to happen. You don't need to get into the most trendy business where there's a bunch of competition. No, there are normal, regular people out there that have normal businesses that make a good amount of money. Now, obviously, it's your option. It's your choice how far you actually want to take these ideas, whether you just want to do it to make a few extra $1,000s a year, or whether you want to build an empire. That is your business. Now, overall, I do also want to give you guys resources. Now, some of the ideas, I'll give you guys resources on how to go ahead and actually start them. Some of them actually have videos on them already. I'll put links everywhere, but some of them are pretty common sense that you actually need to search it up on Google and verify what the best options actually are, because they might change. So you want to stay open to doing your own research also. Now, as always, guys, like these videos. On top of that, also subscribe and hit the bell to get notified. Not like these videos. Just like this video, just this one, okay? Forget about the other ones, okay, for now. Now, the very first idea right off the bat is going to be a vending machine massage chair. Yeah, sounds very long, but it is what it is, okay? Now, I don't know about you guys, okay, but you ever guys been in a mall? You're in a mall, people are shopping, you want to sit down, you see a massage chair, you swipe your card like $2.50 to $5 for this thing, and all of a sudden you're receiving a massage for like 5-10 minutes or whatever, okay? Those are actual people that actually own those chairs, put them in the mall, share the profits, or pay a fee to actually be there, and they actually make passive income. That's how it actually is done. Now, one of these chairs, if you actually want to buy them brand new, they can go for like around $3,000. If you want to buy them used, for example, on eBay or Craigslist, you get them for like $1,600 to $1,500. Links are down below, but you can expect to make $25 per day, all the way up to potentially around $9,000 per year. Now, again, this does not sound that exciting, but imagine you have, for example, 2 of these chairs that cost you $1,500 each. That's $3,000, and now you're making $18,000 a year in profits. Imagine 10 of these chairs. The answer is, it doesn't sound that cool and sexy, but it does sound cool and sexy when that check hits your account. That's the idea. Again, that is massage chairs that you actually put, for example, in the malls, on what is that thing called where the planes are? Airports. Mike, I don't even know how I'm thinking these days, but that's the whole idea, okay? It's a good idea. Now, number 2, guys, is going to be a laundromat business. You couldn't be more boring than washing clothes that you're not actually washing. The machine does all the work and you just basically fold them here and there. You could start one of these businesses, and there is a way to actually get a laundromat for free. I have a video on this, a full video. The link is down below if you actually want to watch the video fully. And I actually have a guy, his name is Danny. He dealt with it. He basically bought a bunch of laundromats, basically sold the whole business. The guy is a genius. He does what he does. The link is down below for that. But again, a laundromat business. What's exciting about that? You put that in a good area, obviously in an area where most people don't have their own laundry machines. By the way, this does not mean people are bad people. It just means they can't have a laundry machine in their whole apartment thing. Stop. I don't let people assume that basically you're dealing with bad people because they can't even afford to have. No, like if you live in New York, like it's rare you can have anything in the apartment because they're so small and just so expensive. So having a laundromat, going to a laundromat, it's not like you're going to deal with bad people, okay? Now, it's very passive. Now, I do advise you one thing, be careful, because if you do buy one of these businesses, by the way, usually you want to buy them, you actually want to get into one that's already established and do like some like remodeling, because if you try to build one, all that plumbing, all that work is a lot of money. A lot of money. So it's better just to try to steal the leads from somebody else. And that is a technique that I talk about in that video. But yeah, laundry, mats, great business, collect orders, passive, passive, passive. You can actually have a contractor work there, so you're not actually there whatsoever. Is there 24/7 all the time. And that's a contractor, so you don't have to pay them insurance or whatever, okay? Now, number 3, guys, is going to be automatic car washes. Now, this business is a little bit more expensive to actually get into. But again, I have a friend and he says, Tommy, I pay 20 or 25 bucks a month. I can go into this whole like automatic car wash machine as many times as I want, and basically it's just 25 bucks a month. And he's thinking, wow, that's pretty good. And I'm thinking, wow, you probably only use it like twice a month, maybe even less, okay? And in reality, that's a membership fee. Or you can pay like $12, $7 every time you pass by, but the machine does all the work. You just do some refills. Now, the best guy on YouTube on this stuff is not me, is actually going to be Investment Joy, because he actually owns a few of them, and he does videos behind the scenes, how he started them, mistakes he's made, and everything else, okay, guys? So the link is down below on how to start one of these businesses. And again, if you find this stuff online, you're going to hear numbers like it costs $1 million, $1.1 million, $2 million. But again, you could always establish one of these things in a more rural area. It doesn't have to be the big the big, for example, automatic car wash machine in the city or whatever. You could put these things in a more normal rural area in reality. Now, number 4, guys, is going to be a dog walking business. Now, you might say, Tommy, what am I gonna do with a dog walking business? How about you make 25 bucks an hour, and also doing, for example, like pet sitting, making some extra money just by doing this, okay? So overall, if you're working a 9 to 5, well, what are you doing with your 5 to 10? You could be walking some dogs, making 25 bucks an hour, to potentially even more if you're gonna be doing dog sitting on the weekends, okay? So it's just all a way to actually do it. Now, there are different apps out there. There are different websites to actually do it. But my advice would always be safe, because you never know what they're going to string you along with. So I would probably just go with one of like the apps first. And if you want to do, for example, like a Craigslist listing, always bring a friend or two, because you never know whose house you're actually going to be invited into. So be very careful with that stuff. I'm very cautious when it comes to these things, okay? So be careful when it comes to this whole one-on-one meeting with people stuff, okay? Just some advice. Now, number 5 is going to be an HVAC technician. These people can make anywhere from $50,000 to $8,000 a year, well, more like 50 to 60, 70K. And if you actually start your own business where you actually do all the HVACs for other people, by the way, that's like air conditioning stuff, you can make a good amount of money. And I have someone that comes like twice a year in my house. I pay him 60 bucks every time he comes to clean, for example, the air conditioning. It takes him like 15 minutes or so, and that's $60 every time. Imagine how many houses he actually has whenever he installs new machinery or whatever in people's houses. Now, by the way, you might say, Tommy, I'm not an HVAC technician. I know you're not, but it takes you 6 to 9 months to actually become one, and to make 50K potentially a year. That's actually pretty good without some expensive college degree. So that's why I'm mentioning it in this video right here. Now, number 6, guys, is going to be an appraiser of real estate. You can do, for example, residential, or you can do, for example, commercial. Commercial ones obviously make more money, but they have, for example, less business, while residentials actually make a little less money, but they have, for example, more business, because there are a lot more residential places than there are, for example, commercial places. Now, to actually do this, okay, you will need to actually go ahead and take around 6 to 12 months, depending on the state, to actually get certified. Some are actually 18 to 24 months or so. You're gonna do commercial license, but again, it all depends. But again, it's like all things you can do like in less than 2 years or so and make a good amount of money. And you might ask me, Tommy, how much exactly? Around $75,000, and that's pretty fair if you ask me. And it doesn't involve you actually selling real estate, being a good salesperson, or anything like that. It's just doing assessments on value, which is actually pretty cool stuff. Now, number 7 is going to be a pressure washing business, where you're going to be washing houses or washing cars. If you don't want to start a whole car wash business that actually automates everything, if you just want to go ahead and pressure wash people's houses, that's also a valuable option. Now, it can cost you like $200-300 to actually buy these machines, but then as far as that, you can actually just make that money back on your first power wash house. We can charge anywhere from $100 to $500 depending on what the house, on the size of the house, obviously, because you can actually charge people based on, for example, the square footage of their house and everything else, okay? So keep that in mind. But it would be as simple as, for example, you just going home to home, offering to clean their houses, like to, you ever seen those commercials where they have people basically use as power washers, and they show the difference when you power wash the sidewalk and when it's not power wash, and it like looks so cool or whatever. You charge a few dollars, you get people on a contract to do this stuff like twice a year, 3 times a year, and it actually sounds pretty awesome. And it's boring, simple, but it makes you good money. Now, number 8 is going to be Google Ads and digital marketing, and also e-commerce. Now you can get certified by Google. It takes like 10 hours a week or so over 6 to 12 months, maybe potentially. And in reality, guess what? This is actually free. Google offers these courses for free for you to actually be certified and to be able to make a bunch of money. Now, how much can you make? You can start anywhere at around $50,000, and Google can potentially even help you connect with certain employers out there after you're actually certified. Again, these are all, and when I say a business, okay, I know you're probably thinking, Tommy, but these are jobs also, right? Because you're asking me, you're talking about business, but you're also talking about jobs. Yeah, it is jobs, but any job can also be a business in a sense, because you can always be, for example, a contractor, if you know what I mean. Okay, so consider this stuff, because some things, it's not just about like all the like doing work with your hands, but you can be doing work with your head, and you can actually get these degrees for free. So why wouldn't you actually want to go ahead and get it done? Number 9 is going to be property managers, making around $50,000 a year. Now, some folks say you need like 10 years of experience in real estate. That's not really true. It all depends. But it all comes down to you having some experience in real estate, potentially having a real estate license, depending on the state, and to actually just be able, for example, I have a friend, and he told me, Tommy, I can do like all the managing of your property. And I'm like, okay, so what are you going to do here? He says, if anything happens, I'll take care of it. I'll fix everything. I'll collect the rent. I'll get you the tenants. I'll do anything you want me to do. Okay. And all I'm charging you is like, for example, in his case, it was like $50 a month, because he's not really going to do anything. But in reality, some folks will charge you, for example, 8% of the rents, or like 6% or 10% of the rents. And that's pretty fair also. But remember, you might say, Tommy, but what the heck am I going to do? Just like $50 a month or $100 a month, or just 8% of the gross rents? That's kind of crazy. But in reality, if you have like 20 houses, okay, that's fair, because you're going to make some good money. And in reality, it's not like it's going to come out of your pocket most of the time, unless that's how it's actually going to be managed or whatever. But it's like all you're doing is making phone calls whenever something breaks every now and then. And number 10 is going to be accounting. Anything from bookkeeping to journal entries and taxes and everything else, okay? And I put that here because accounting is a very versatile degree, where you can actually just get like the bookkeeping stuff in like less than 2 years or so, or you can go more advanced, get a CPA or whatever, become a CPA and get certified. And in reality, that can take about like 4 years or so after you actually get your bachelor's degree or whatever. But it all depends. But it's one of those things you can actually go ahead and get a degree, work for somebody else, or get a degree and start your own business. So it all depends on how you actually want to do it, or work for somebody's business, but on your own time with your own schedule, because you are a contractor. So it's one of those degrees that actually grant you a multitude of avenues as far as what you can actually do with it. And it's always in demand, because we always have taxes, and it's just a part of the game. And I don't like taxes. Not paying taxes, but I hate how complicated taxes are, for example, in the US versus places like I think it's called like Finland, where it's just like they send you the thing and you just pay it right there, and it takes you like 20 seconds to do the whole thing. I think that's a lot better. But yeah, that is it, guys. Those are 10 boring ideas as far as businesses you can actually start if you actually want to. The full list is down below with links available, some of them at least, but you want to go ahead and compare, do your own research, and start one by one and see exactly which one you like the most. As always, guys, like this video on top of, also subscribe, hit the bell to get notified, and comment down below made it, so I know you made it all the way to the video. Up here is another video. Over here is my face, and subscribe. And as always, long-term team officially.